girl Mahekedi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am okay. I won't say I'm back. I won't say I'm back because I feel like I say that all the time. So I'm just gonna make this video and hopefully you love it. I have a lot to say. This is a live update, by the way. So I have a lot, lot to say. Oh my god, where do I start? Okay, I think the first thing that I've been wanting to speak about, I think most of you guys um, know that I was a student, and last year I was doing my third year, and I failed, guys. Sure, I failed my third year. Um, it's not a sad, it's not a sad story. Okay, it said that I didn't pass, but like it's not really of a sad story. But yeah, I didn't do well. So when you do third year, for you to pass, obviously, like our third year is more of like an internship, right? So you get assigned to a certain department, of which I nailed that. Like I was assigned to an like events planning department, the best son. So I like that one. Oh my god, I loved it. It was, yes, it was a lot of work, but it was like I had a beautiful time there. But also I couldn't wait to leave because um like I don't like being stuck in one place for so long. It makes me really anxious. So yeah, because I had been there 6 months prior to my internship. But however, it was very nice. The people that I was working with, the work and all of that, I learned quite a lot. And it was not the department I initially wanted to go to, but then it is the department they had sent me there. So, but however, after all of that, like I was like, thank you God, because I really did love it. Like eight, I really did love it. It was amazing. And so after, like, in you doing your internship, you also get to like do a business plan and also have to write a thesis. Where's my thesis? Okay, it's not anywhere near, but I didn't do well on my thesis. Now this, I'm not gonna get deeper with this because there's a lot I could say about this, but I won't. And this we ted. Yeah, but however, I didn't do well on my thesis. I wrote my thesis on, what was the name of my thesis? It was um obstacles that hinder us from receiving and accepting the love of God. So I was writing, like I was dealing with things like rape, absent fatherhood, um, like there's so many factors like that make people not to be able to receive like the love of God. For example, if I can like maybe talk a bit on absent fatherhood, God is a father, and if you've never had a father like your whole life, your father was like just absent, not there, it gets really hard for you to trust God because you've never had that male figure, like who was it really gets hard for you to trust God as a father, because there'll be certain things where you'll be like, okay, but my father did this, so like if things don't go well or don't go your way, you will always go back to that. Bana, you know what? Why did I think God is gonna do this? He's a man, he's a father. So this is what fathers do. So it really gets hard for you to trust God or to receive anything from him, right? So that's what I was writing on. And then after that, we also do a business plan. So when I didn't do well on my thesis, I decided not to do the business plan at all. So I didn't do the business plan at all. I didn't give it a try. I was not scared that I was not gonna make it. My business plan was quite good. I did do it, but I just decided a few days after that not to present it or to submit it or anything. I texted I emailed I emailed my lecturer and told him that I will not be presenting nor submitting the business plan. So that is the life update that I had for you all. And many people have been asking, like, why don't you do your thesis and your business plan, child? I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I think, for me, oh my God, I need to touch on this because I feel like we as people have a different view on failure, right? I didn't cry when I failed because, like I said, there are just circumstances that happened. So I kind of like knew I was not gonna make it, you know. I kind of knew I was not gonna make it. And also to add to that, um, the it was just complicated, man. It was just complicated. And I feel like us as people, we view failure like in a different way, you know. I'm so grateful to God because my identity is so sure. I have a firm foundation of identity in him. So when I failed, because many people when they fail, they will equate that failure to them as a person, like, I'm a failure, I'm this, I'm that. Oh no, darling, I'm not a failure. I am not a failure. So um I like I didn't cry. I was a bit sad, but then like I got over that. I mean, people fail every other time, people fail every other time. And it didn't have anything with me not being smart enough or not being intelligent enough. I know myself. I know how intelligent I am. I know how smart I am. And like I know how good like I am at academics. I was speaking to this friend of mine. I was like, because when I was young, I initially wanted to be a doctor, right? Um, so I was speaking to this friend of mine. I'm like, I've never known failure, like failing in your books, in your studies. I've never known that until my college days. I went to college in 2016. My daughter was born in 2015. In 2016, I went to college and I was doing financial management, finances, accounting, and economics, right? And growing up, I did economics, like everybody does economics, like EMS, economic management science. We all do that. Now in my school, we had a teacher that didn't really like teaching. So what she would do was she would like when we are gonna write an exam on a Monday, she would ask us to come to school on a Saturday, and she would write the memo for us on the board. She would just leave a few things out. So I never really had to like study extensively. But so on my first year of college, I failed. what did I fail? I failed economics and accounting. Oh my god, I used to hate accounting. I always say this, it was that teacher's fault that I failed accounting. It was not my fault. Like, it was not my fault. But I failed economics and I failed accounting. Um, the way he taught, or the way he explained things, didn't really stick to my mind. Like, it really didn't stick. And I tried my best in practicing and doing all of that. So I was like, man, no. And it was not just me, like there were a lot of my classmates that didn't make it. And then I remember the next year the school had to like go back and see like what are they doing wrong, why are many students not passing accounting, you know, like there would be like maybe two people or three who are passing like in the whole class. So eventually they changed him, like the teacher. And then our financial management teacher became an accounting teacher. Oh my god, and she was so good at it. That's why I love financial management. So okay, I think I'm blabbing right now, but this is a live update. So yeah, that was it. Like literally, that was it. I didn't graduate, I didn't pass. And like, I'm not sad about it. I'm not gonna do, like, it's something that you can do, like it's a thesis, you can pay whatever you need to pay and redo it. But I am not gonna do it. And that decision I did not take alone. Like, I did consult God, should I do it? And we came up with, I am not gonna do it, darling. So yes, I know it's sad, but you know, it's okay. I've learned a lot. Like, I've learned a lot being in Bible school, like so much I learned. Oh my God, I learned so much. Honestly, not the person who went in is honestly not the person who came out, you know. There was just a lot that I had to learn, and a lot that I had to, yeah, man, it was just a good time. And you know, not only that, I've made like lifelong um brothers, sisters, friendship. So yeah, the people, oh my god, my class was the best. It will go down in history. It was the best. My class was just the best ever. And yeah, man, it was just amazing. It was amazing. But in all of that, you know, just going on, oh, God is so good, guys. God is so good. I've been waiting for so long to do this video, but it's okay. Everything under the sun has its own times. That's what Ecclesiastes tells us, right? So, guys, I am very proud to announce my first, but not last, my best baby. Oh, guys, look at that. Look at God. Look at God. Oh man, God is so good, guys. Um, Last year, this is the book that I have been like working on for so long. I love writing. I feel like I can like hit two birds with one stone, because a lot of people have been asking me like about writing and stuff. So I've always loved writing. When I grew up at home, I was not allowed to go and play outside like with other kids and stuff. They were only allowed to come at my home to play. And most of the time they didn't like that. Well, I wouldn't like that too. I think that's why I don't really like being in one place for so long. I feel like I'm caged, and I don't like that. I need like to be out of the box. I need to move. I need to like see people, So I think that's where it came from, the fact that I don't like being like, yo, my door is not locked, but okay, God is here. It's not even that late. That's why I'm wearing my pajamas. I was thinking, should I change and look fancy? But why should I look fancy? I'm about to sleep. I'm wearing my pajamas. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? No. So, growing up, the only company I had was television, books. That's what I did. I read, I read, I read. And I think that's what like gave me like confidence in speaking English. I read a lot and I wrote a lot. So growing up, I didn't know I was gonna like be a book writer. But when I was in grade 8, grade 9, I did have like a whim that, you know what, I think I am gonna be like a book writer, because I used to buy I do have that. Where is it? I think it's in one of my, oh, it's over there. Like those counter books, the small counter books, I always had that, and they were filled with stories. They were filled with stories. There's also another like story that I wrote when I was in college, and then I gave it to one of my friends who was like in the drama department. I said they can read it and see if like it's a story they would like to play out. I don't know what happened with that, but the story never came back. People. So when I got saved in 2019, I moved away from my town in 2018. And then when I got saved in 2019, God did speak to me that I am gonna write books, and I've always known this was the first book that I was gonna write. This is a book about like my childhood. I'm not gonna say about my life because I have a very long life. So this is a book about my childhood, and I, if I really did like fit everything here that had happened, this book would really be huge, like really be huge. I think it's 152 pages. Oh, it's 156 pages. So if I had to like really really extensively fit in everything, this book would really be huge. But I feel like everything that the Holy Spirit like helped me to put in here was what like every reader needed, was what had to be here. So, guys, whenever I look at this, I I think of just how much good God is, you know. Um, this like my childhood was not very nice. It was tough. It was hard. It was painful, and I was just an unhappy person when I was growing up, And I thank God so much, because that's what I always say. Like whenever I look at my children, I got my kids at a very young age, and the enemy was so sure. The enemy was so sure that, you know what, her life is over. Because when I got my kids, I was telling one of my um friends the other day, when I got kids, when I got Raj, I was um 15 years old, and then when I got Ueshi, I was 17 years old. So they have like 2 years apart. Yeah, and when I got them, oh my God. So I got to Raj. I was staying with their father, obviously. I'm gonna paraphrase because there's somewhere I want to get to. I was staying with their father, obviously. I got Uraj and I raised Uraj, and then I got Ulaki, And then after getting Ulaki, I think it was 6 months into that, and then I had to move back home, you know. And moving back home was not like the nicest like thing to do, because oh, there was so much judgment, you know. The enemy was so sure that that is where my life was gonna end, you know. There was so much judgment because I was actually saying this last week, that sometimes having children is not the problem, but mna ndinabantwana vaka my friend, like my kids, like people used to come to my home, guys, just to see my children's hair so that they can go and talk nicely, you know. And I used to be the example, like in my village, the example of what not to do. Don't be like um Uzbanbani's daughter, because look at what she did, blah 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 and blah blah blah. But God, guys, so the enemy was so sure that he had like really killed me back then. But I think the mistake that he didn't realize was at me getting pregnant with my son, because when I got pregnant with my son, I told myself I was suicidal before that, but when I got pregnant with my son, I told myself that, you know what, I'm gonna be the best mother, you know. Having like my children gave me purpose to live. Was like, I'm gonna be the best mother, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna raise my children and they're gonna be like the best children, and they are like the best children, you know. God has helped me so much. God knows my heart when it comes to my kids. I always say that God used my kids to save me, because before that I was very suicidal, darling. I would be dead right now. And the thing is, mna andoyiki, like andiko afraid. I don't fear. Fear is not my portion. I don't fear things. Yeah. So this is Beauty from Ashes, and the book starts really like at home, like at my home. I would love to read something for you guys, but I don't know. So it has like how many chapters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has like 12 chapters. The first chapter is When Home Hurts. Obviously, it started at home, and then Running into Freedom, and then Fatherlessness, The Silent Wound, Shadows of Rejection, When Love Found Me, The Power of Forgiveness, The God Shaped Void, A Home for My Soul, Trauma and the Brain, Redefining Love, Restoration, and the last one is Identity in Christ, right? So I believe this is like the best book ever. So for me, writing this book was not really hard, yeah, because I think some people think I failed my thesis because I was busy writing a book. Like, I did not have to think hard, because this is my life. I lived it. It's a lived experience. It's not something that I had to research on. Obviously, there are things that I had to research on, like trauma, fatherlessness. I had to research more. Like, I also grew up without my father, you know. So it was not like a lot of work that bana ndingade ndifeyile, because I was busy writing a book. So it was last year when the Lord just like spoke to me that, you know what, it's time now. And I had been I had been trying to write this book for so many years. I was still staying in Tanzania back then. When I would just write, I would just write. But you know, when I finished this last year, I was like to God, you know what, God. And you know, I didn't even tell people that I was writing a book. I was busy with a book. You know, I was like, because the Lord was like, you know what do we do? That is a mistake mostly that I have done. We do research, of which research is good. Knowledge is power. That the Bible speaks about knowledge. We must not be ignorant people. But the thing is, when we do research about such things, like about book publication, we get those big figures there. And when you get those big figures, you will feel, Bana, God, where is this money gonna come from? Not that you're not trusting God, but I think ingqondo zethu are wired so bad that when that happens, you go into a panic mode. Bana, yo izawusuka phi le mali ingaka. So I did that as well. I did my research on a few, what you call, on a few writers, and then the figures, oh darling, I'm on my 60k. Aibo, tingenayo ne 1k. They did at 60k. So the Lord was like, write the book, don't do any research, write the book and finish it. So my prayer for this book was, Lord, I don't want anybody to touch this book and feel pity for me. I don't feel pity for myself. I've never felt pity for myself. Everything that happened in my life, I believe, had to happen so that we can come, to a full circle, which is me now standing before you, telling you this. Oh, that's an aeroplane. That's an aeroplane. I stay next to the airport, so I prayed. I was like, Lord, I don't want anybody to touch this book. And azive ngathi bana, oh hayi man, ibuhlungu lento. So I think that's why for so many years I was trying to write the same book, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because then the Lord was not done with my heart. So finally she came out. And another thing I told God was like, Lord, even if it's just one person who gets like help from this book, this book is not it's not a replacement for the Bible. You'll find a lot of scriptures here because I didn't write the book from where I was back then. I wrote the book from where I am right now. I'm a child of God and I live with the word. Yeah, well, so it's an amazing book, even if I say so myself. Like, I've gotten like a lot of what do you call, of reviews from this book, and they all just want to make me cry. I'm telling you, God really worked a miracle in this book, and I am so thankful. So honey, please put respect on my name. I'm an author. I do. This is my favorite part, or I have a favorite part of the book, and I feel like I want to read it to you guys. This was the only place that I cried when I was writing the book. Everything else was just so good and so nice because I'm no longer there. God helped me so good. Like, God helped me so good, guys. Um God is a good God. I don't know which page is it, but I just know it's in this chapter. God is such a good God, and you can trust God with your life. You can trust God with your story. He is a very good God. Now, I think it's this side. He is a good God. He will heal you. He will, and when he heals, this is one thing that I preach. When he heals, he does a full job. In the Bible speaks about 10 lepers that went to Jesus Christ for healing, and Jesus Christ healed them all, but only one came, and the one who came back with thanksgiving was not only just healed, but he was made whole. And you know that word of being made whole, I did research on this. I think it means like, okay, no, we'll talk about that some other time. My mind is okay. I want to read this piece to you guys. And I've been thinking of like having obviously my YouTube is for the glory of God, and I do vlogs as well, all of that. I was thinking of maybe once a month discussing like one chapter. I'll see how I'll go about it, but I want to read this to you guys because this is like my favorite part in the book. And I got a testimony from someone about this part. And you know what's amazing? The testimony I got from this person, they were like, you know what, I thought I had healed, but andikho ndawo, I haven't healed. So reading the book, the Lord actually pinpointed, places that still need healing, you know. And like in this is under the first chapter, which is when home hurts, which I made a mistake and said when love hurts. It's okay. It's my first book. Okay, so this is under that, and the title is Grace for My Mother. I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna close this. I judged my mother harshly. For years, I resented being born from her. I blamed her for everything that went wrong in my life. I believed she didn't love me, that she could have done better, that she could have protected me. But when understanding came, so did grace. I began to see her not just as my mother, but as a woman with her own battles, her own wounds, and her own story. I remember one day she had a heated argument with my grandfather. She was angry, and for once she stood up for herself. I can only imagine the pain she carried that day, the pain of confronting her own father, and the pain of being strong for too long. Growing up in that environment was not easy. My grandfather drank heavily, and when he was drunk, everyone in the house paid the price. My grandmother would tell me to lock myself in my room while she faced the storm alone. I still remember the fear that gripped me as his shouting echoed through the house. I worried not only for myself but for my grandmother, who endured it quietly. Her strength, okay, what did I do? Um, her strength wrapped in silence. That kind of atmosphere shapes a child. It teaches you how to survive, but not how to feel safe. It teaches you to be quiet, to read people's moods before you speak, to live on the edge. But as I grew and came to know God, I realized my mother had lived through her own storms. She wasn't cold or distant because she didn't love me. She was broken, doing the best she could with what she had. God began to teach me compassion, not just for her, but for everyone who had hurt me. He reminded me of Jesus' words, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. That is Luke 23, verse 34. That verse broke me. It helped me see my family differently. My mother, my grandparents, they didn't know how deeply their own wounds ran. They didn't know how much of their pain they were passing down, and just like me, they needed grace. It's easy to blame, but it takes strength to understand. It takes love to forgive, and it takes God to break a generational curse. I've learned that forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was right. It means I refuse to carry the pain any longer. And Ephesians 4:32 says, and be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. Forgiveness brought me peace. Grace helped me love my mother again, not as the woman who failed me, but as the woman who gave me life, who tried her best, and who, just like me, needed healing too. That is where it ends. I love that so much. It's my favorite. I literally cried when I was writing it. I think when I was writing that, there was just so much thought in my mind that, you know what, my mother did her best. You know, my mother did her best to, she only loved me the only way she knew love. To her, being distant, being all of that, that's how she grew up. She didn't know anything else. So who am I to think that I could be angry at that? You know, she needed grace as much as I needed grace. She needed healing as much as I needed healing. So yeah, man, that's my baby. That's my baby. And so for the questions I've been getting about book writing, when it comes to book writing, firstly, um, you need to know, for an example, if you're writing a book like my book, like you're gonna tell a story of your life, maybe you went through hardship and all of that, you're gonna tell a story of your life. Make sure that you are telling that story of your life from a point of victory. Suthi ngoku kubuhlungu uforce and write a book, because it's not gonna have any impact. It has to come from victory. It has to come from a testimony. It has to come from healing, you know, so that it can help others too, you know. And the other thing, when it comes to, like, I did everything myself here. I edited, because I did not want anybody to edit my book. Because when you edit like a book, this book is very personal to me, right? I lived this. This is not something I took from Google or ChatGPT. I lived it. This is my life. I know how I lived it. And when you take your book to editors, they say, no, you have to say this in a certain way. You can say that better. I didn't want anybody to tell me I can say it better. I asked the Lord to give me these words of this book, and He gave me these words. So I did not want anyone who was gonna change anything. So I edited it myself. And then the book cover initially was not supposed to be like this. So I'm a visual person, like I see things with my eyes. So I love seeing. The first thing I did before I even finished the book, I did a mock-up of my um what do you call it, a mock-up of the book cover that I wanted. You can do that everywhere. I did it on, I think I did on Copilot. You know, I just explained what I wanted, and then Copilot did me the thing. It was not this initially, but then the person who was helping me with the book cover, it was very difficult to design what I had initially wanted. So he designed this and a few others. I didn't like the others, but this one like really spoke to my heart, because I wanted the book cover like to tell, to be what the story is all about. You know, you can see it's cute, it's like it's nice in all the good ways. So I was like, I'm gonna go with it. I love it so much. And the name, please be careful when like you contact the, who are these people, the nation, like where you get your barcode. Please be very careful in the name that you submit, because this was meant to be beauty for ashes. It's Isaiah. It's Isaiah 61 verse 3. So it says that He will give you a crown of beautiful ashes. That is where it came from. So it was initially supposed to be beauty for ashes, but then I made a mistake and said beauty from ashes. And I felt like that mistake was like a godly mistake. It makes so much sense to me. So I did not cry because, oh no, I was like, God, thank you. That's what the book was initially meant to be. So it was a good mistake. And what else? So my book is self-published. I did not go to any publishers, and so I did like almost everything myself. There are printers that I used for this book, and they did a really good job. They were so patient with me, and yeah, they did a really good job. So what I do is I take orders, and when I have orders, I submit the orders to them with the payment, and then they print for me. So what else? Like, you decide how you want your, like, your book to be. Like, you decide the structure of your book. This is how my book looks like. You will see, like, there are bold um there are bold lines that I have like made bolder and more black, whatever, because like I wanted to hit like the reader, I wanted to hit and to stick. Yeah, but so guys, yeah, my kids are growing well, and God has just been good to us as a family. I'm still single, and I've been having a few dates, but in talking stages, but like akupopi nix, akupopi sana. But however, God is a good God. He is a good God, and I'm excited for this season of my life where I'm just like able to be a mother, like full time, to be more present with my kids and all of that. So yeah, man, this is like a life update, a very long life update, but God has been so good, man. God has been so good. So that is all that I wanted to say for today. So please like, please share, please subscribe, and please comment down below if you would love for me to do like the monthly I don't know, I'll figure out what to call them, but the monthly thingy where I read a chapter from the book and just speak extensively on it. Yeah, but obviously I will paraphrase. I know what's in here. I can say it with my eyes closed. So please do comment if you need that, and if you have more questions about book writing, you can leave them on the comments, and I will answer them and do a follow-up video for that. Yeah, well, so thank you so much for being here. This is a new journey, because this time around I am back like for good. It's gonna be exciting. So you're gonna see vlogs, you are gonna see these sit downs. I'm gonna do sit downs as well. You're gonna see guests sometimes, so it's gonna be really, really cool. Invite your friends to subscribe and all the works. And guys, I am cooking, so I need to get back to my pots. So thank you so much for being part of the journey, and for just being here. I love you guys.